The Attorney General's seat is open this year in Montana, with two candidates vying for the job. Both are practicing lawyers, Democrat Rafe Graybill from Helena and Republican Austin Knudsen of Culbertson. The two are running for a role that has been in the spotlight following a 2016 lawsuit now in the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court. A group of Republican attorneys generals filed suit to invalidate the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. The landmark health reform law has candidates here at home split.
We'll lose 10,000 jobs. We'll lose rural hospitals. And the 400,000 Montanans who have pre-existing medical conditions, insurance companies would have the power to deny them care.
Austin Knudsen told MTN News getting rid of the ACA would benefit Montanans and business by creating competition in the marketplace.
You do see it in certain segments of healthcare where the government is not involved, and frankly, where the insurance industry is not involved. You see two things. You see better product, better quality, and cheaper costs.
Graybill says removing the ACA would not only hurt those covered under Medicaid, but it would devastate the state's economy and local law enforcement.
It's bad for public safety because it makes it harder to get access to mental health services, harder to get access to treatment services. And if you talk to law enforcement in Montana, they'll tell you this is incredibly important that people have access to those services.
Knudsen says mental health services for inmates and police are crucial, but he thinks reducing the budget in Helena and Justice Department divisions like the Motor Vehicle Division and reallocating that money to police and county commissioners is the best approach.
Out of the bureaucracy, out of a lot of the pay raises and the vacancy savings, we can move that out to actual law enforcement. And I'm talking local law enforcement that are actually dealing with the drug and crime problem on the front lines.
Another issue Knudsen is campaigning on is the fight against meth in Montana in communities from Kalispell to Culbertson.
Methamphetamine epidemic, that's our true pandemic in Montana. It's not COVID. Methamphetamine is bar none the most serious threat to the state of Montana right now because it's driving up all violent crime.
Knudsen's hometown in Roosevelt County is also the site of a lawsuit involving his family, the city, and a group of local veterans. They're suing the Knudsen Family Limited Partnership over access issues involving a veterans park and land owned by Knudsen's family.
You read this lawsuit and you hear accounts of people saying that Austin Knudsen personally accosted them over this issue at the gate. No, that's not the Montana way. The Montana way is you bring folks together and you work out a solution.
Knudsen said the lawsuit stretches back decades and that he's not directly involved.
I have no ownership interest in that property. I'm not a party to that suit. So, you know, it's unfortunate it's come to that point, but it's got no bearing on my attitude towards public lands.
He told MTN News he'd take an active position on the land board, noting his legal background in land and multiple use.
I want to make sure that we're using our public lands in, number one, the most cost-effective way, because those lands fund K through 12 public education in Montana. So we have to make sure we're getting the best bang for our dollar off of our public lands. I've got the background to do that.
As chief legal counsel to Governor Steve Bullock, Graybill says he's also got experience fighting for Montana's public lands.
The reason I ran for Attorney General was to fight for the Habitat Montana program. They're very proud of going to the Supreme Court of Montana to fight for public access and winning 6-1, helping families across our state. And I think that's the kind of advocacy you're owed as Attorney General.
He's also campaigning for public access legal advocates to handle issues between landowners and the public.
That's somebody who works for the Department of Justice, who would do this Montana way, who would get together with stakeholders and say, you've got a claim, let's work this out.
In Great Falls, Keely Van Middendorp, MTN News.